Hi YouTube, my name is Sheik Rahman and today I'm going to be creating a day in the life type video. That's a baby you hear in the background, but all good, baby is fine, she's just trying to sleep. This is a video that I'm doing as part of the Ali Abdaal YouTube Foundations Challenge. Basically, we just create 7 different videos and the 6th one involves us creating a bit of a day in the life type thing. And right now, every single day for probably the next year of my life will be all about taking care of a baby. So me and my wife recently had a baby. She was born last week and right now I'm on paternity leave. So every single day from around the last week and what will be the next few weeks too is just all about us working together to take care of the baby. So that's what this day in the life video is going to be about. I'm going to bring you in to what my life has kind of been like. Yeah, so here we go. So you may have noticed that there has been a change in lighting and I may look slightly different, and also maybe the background looks a little bit different, and that's because I'm now recording this or continuing this video about a couple of days from when I just recorded the previous part that you just saw. And that's simply because things can just become very unpredictable when you have a brand new baby and you can be pretty drained of energy to find the time to record a video. But anyways, here I am. So I've got my coffee that is super ice cold right now because I made it about 5 hours ago and I've barely been able to sip it, but still does the job. But yeah, so basically this was a day in the life video, so I'll run you through what's happened so far today. I woke up at around 3 o'clock and I went to the lounge room where my wife and mother-in-law were and basically told my mother-in-law that she can now take a rest and go to bed. We've been alternating shifts where she takes the night shift up until 3 a.m. and then I take over. This is with providing support to my wife, who is doing the brunt of the work, which is actually, feeding the baby whenever the baby needs a feed. It's a very tough job because you just have no idea sometimes. Even though they do say that you should feed every 3 hours, what I've learned now is that in the early life of the baby, the milk that the mother produces is primarily driven by the demand of the baby. So it's very important to allow the baby to feed whenever they want to feed, because there is a natural reason for it, and that is to promote the production of milk, which is just, anyways, a really interesting fact. But yeah, when I wake up, I swap shifts with my mother-in-law and then I check in on the baby. I usually take the baby from that point onwards. That's what happened this morning. Let my wife go to bed and I take, the first thing I do is just do a check on the baby, the nappy, and try to settle the baby down. And if I can, if the baby's already on their way to falling asleep, I will hold the baby for quite some time, just because it's just a nice way to start off the day, and then I'll try to put them down in the bassinet to get a proper sleep. But as it usually goes, which is what happened today, the baby did not want to sleep. It was very, very restless, and so I tried to hold the baby in very, very different positions and walk the baby around. Tried going through this little checklist that I made to settle the baby when the baby starts crying. Just pretty interesting. Yeah, I've tried to make all these different priority lists in my head to work out why is it that the baby's crying. But yeah, I went through my checklist and everything that I tried, including checking the nappy, changing the nappy, nothing worked. Baby was still crying. Then I went to the very bottom of the checklist, which is, okay, turns out the baby is actually still hungry, despite the fact that they had a feed, maybe half an hour to 45 minutes ago. And so my wife, who's finally just been able to sleep, unfortunately, have to wake her up and, be like, hey, baby's still hungry. So that's what I mean when I say my wife has the hardest job in the house, because at least I can form some form of routine, but for her it's a lot more tougher in these first few weeks. So give the baby back to her, she starts feeding the baby, and then if my wife needs anything, I ask her, get her a bottle of water, get her some food to eat. And that brings me to the next part of what a big chunk of my day is as well. Well, not a big chunk, but an important part of my day. It's to support my wife, to make sure that she has everything that she needs, because a lot of her energy is consumed from the fact that she needs to make sure that she's giving her baby sustenance through feeding her. It is depriving her of a fair bit of sleep, so I want to make sure that she's taken care of as well. So supporting her means taking the initiative to see if she has everything she needs, and also just taking care of the house. That's been a big part of being a support for this stuff. I don't want her to worry about the house at all. Same for my mother-in-law, so we're both taking care of cleaning, cooking, etc. So those are some of the things that I do after 3 a.m. if I have to give the baby back to her to feed. But then once all that stuff is done, I get to the more fun part of my morning, which is making my first cup of coffee. Absolutely love making a cuppa. I just bought a new Breville coffee machine, so I've been having a bit of fun with testing it out. So make my cuppa, and then at this point take the baby back and hold the baby for quite some time, at which point my cup of coffee usually gets freezing cold. But that's okay. It's become a part of the journey that I've grown to just take it as it is what it is. Cup of coffee, still a cup of coffee. And then, it can be a couple of hours until I'm able to eventually get the baby to fall asleep. We can have more rounds of sending the baby back to mother for a feed, or me just trying to settle her. But it is 9 a.m. right now. And what's happened this morning is, we've gotten to about 7 a.m. where I've finally been able to get the baby to sleep in the bassinet. So the baby slept from around maybe 7 to 8:30, and in that time I've kind of rested my eyes as well on the couch, this couch that you see right here. And yeah, the baby is now very calm, and I've been able to sit down and enjoy my cup of coffee again. And mum's had good amount of sleep, thankfully, so she's probably slept for like the last 3 hours, which is what we're trying to aim for. Around the time my wife starts to wake up, sometime around after 9, I'll usually make brekkie, and then I'll feed her brekkie if she's feeding the baby. Then when my mother-in-law wakes up, maybe around 10 a.m, at that point I may usually do a switch with her for her to take over, and then I'll take like a 1 hour nap, which in most cases has turned into a 3 hour nap. To be real, I don't even know if 3 hours counts as a nap or if that's actually a sleep. I think that's a sleep. Anyways, sometime when I wake up, we'll get to having lunch, and we usually don't do lunch together just because everyone's doing different things. And they'll have lunch, watch a bit of Severance. I'm really into Severance right now. If you haven't heard of it, it's on Apple TV, and it really, it really is like this super extended Black Mirror episode. It's just testing out this let's just say this this idea where, you know, it's like, what if you as a person could kind of split your personality in half, or your awareness in half, to one that is aware of your work life, and one that is aware of your life outside of work, so that when you're in a work life, you have no idea about what's happening in your personal life, and vice versa. Really interesting show. Up to season 2. So very keen to see how it goes. But anyways, coming back to a day in my life. Honestly, after 1 p.m, it's pretty much a haze. I feel like after 1 p.m, that's when all of us are awake, and we're kind of just out and about in the house, just chilling, holding the baby, not holding the baby, taking the baby maybe for a very short stroll, just to give it some sunlight. And the day just goes so fast. There's no real routine after 1. We just do whatever it takes. Our life just revolves around the baby. I know that might sound a bit like, oh, our lives just revolve around the baby. I do not mean it like that. Like, I mean it like that's just what it is. But it's, you know, it's just great. It's really great. I don't know if you can hear the baby right now, but I'm just looking at the baby, and she's just waking up from a sleep and just stretching and moving her arms out and about. It's really cute to look at. I'd say half the experience of having a baby ever since the baby's appeared in the world, about 11, 12, 13 days ago, half the experience has been me looking at the baby and wondering if that baby's actually my child. Because I'm just in disbelief. Like, where did this baby come from? I mean, I know where it came from, but like, who are you? Like, how are you my child? Like, this is just crazy. How do I have a kid now? I mean that in the most wonderful way. Like, what did I do to deserve this? I mean, I know what I did to deserve a baby, but yeah, no, it's just crazy. Yeah, it's very hard to describe what it's like to be a parent. Maybe one day I'll find the words, but I feel like the majority of parenthood right now, it's just been, well, half of it has been managing being a parent, and the other half has been accepting being a parent mentally, in a good way. So it's now about 6 p.m. and baby is sleeping, mother-in-law is sleeping, wife is sleeping. I'm kind of just chilling, sitting on the couch and trying to get some life admin done, and I'm also admiring my baby, taking her nap. And so the cool thing about this bassinet is that it has a bit of a swing on it, so I'm able to kind of push her and swing her, and yeah. The crazy thing is I had no idea 1 year ago that I would be finding myself really enjoying watching a baby sleep. So yeah, there's some personal growth for you. So from maybe 6 to about 9, 10 or 11 p.m, I'm usually awake with my wife and mother-in-law potentially being awake some of it, or just sleeping. I'm looking after the baby and chilling, watching TV, i.e. Severance, having dinner, doing any life admin. There's nothing really stuck in routine with what I do during this time, but I'm awake till then just because I need to sleep as early as I possibly can, because I do have that routine of waking up at 3 a.m. and swapping shifts with my mother-in-law, with being the one that's awake. And yeah, that's honestly what my day has been like since about maybe 12 days ago, and it's what it's going to be like for the next 3 weeks while I'm on paternity leave. As mundane as it might be sounding, I think this life is freaking amazing. I love it. just having this time to actually be able to spend with my wife and the baby. It's time that I'm never gonna really get back, and to actually really play a role in taking care of the baby. That's going to be something I'm going to be able to look back on and be really happy with. Kids are amazing. If able to get through all the black, yellow, green poop, all the different colors of poop, the poop rainbow. Be patient with all the crying, as hard as it may be. You're able to just hold your child and just look at them and think, wow, I did something to create this thing, and this thing will one day have its own dreams, goals, relationships, fall in love, fall out of love, go through the whole life cycle just like you. Like, that is just crazy. Yeah, anyways, that's me. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I don't know if I'll ever be making a day in the life again.